Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're going to update you here once more on Bitcoin for those who might have missed my update this morning. And just to clarify, a simple way to understand it, Bitcoin broke free from its descending trend. CPI data came in at 3.4%. Dollar index went down, Bitcoin went up. Kind of a standard procedure here when you see these kind of things happen. So if you are new to the channel, I just want to welcome you aboard. Thanks so much for watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button, comment below. Absolutely helps grow the channel so we can put this in front of more people. If you are new to the channel, of course, and you're not part of my Trading Academy community and signals group, link down below, CryptoCache.tech for that if you're curious. What's more, when we talk about liquidation from before, now, later, whatever, these areas are important to recognize because they are levels that are commonly gravitated towards, right? So we're closer to this upside here, so it makes sense for 67,000 to get swept. Now, am I just going to short 67,000 because of it? No, but that's known as a strong point of control. We have a lot of liquidation there, so at this point, I wouldn't be surprised we see that retested and the price pulls back at least a little bit to potentially bounce off its new high, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Having said all that, we can see some liquidation still down at low of 60,000, but I'm sorry, bears, you probably missed out on that opportunity, and hopefully you weren't a late short here, one of these guys here at about 64K. Again, shorting the market is much more risky than taking longs, so I just don't recommend it. At this point, what we want to do is, when we see fib levels here kind of dated, the best practice is to draw it out from the most recent high to most recent low. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a minute, the price action's above this level here. Wouldn't you go the opposite direction? The short answer is no, because we haven't closed on the daily candle. We don't have a new candlestick to rely on. I prefer larger time frame fibs, so in this case, this gives us roughly about a 10-day perspective of the most recent fib levels. This also helps us anticipate next steps too. These common fib levels at, 1.272, exactly at our point of control, and of course, upper levels in case the price continues to run. That's why we have it there. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Let's quickly note a couple of things first and foremost with Ichimoku Cloud. Oh wait, you know what? Quickly, let's note this here first. I have these on the chart just to kind of give you perspective. I talked to my community about this here. What this is the weekly stochastic convergence. So every time the stochastic swings up, we can see the price action has excelled very, very well every time. The lowest percentage is 27. I've averaged all these out. It's about 62.5%, or roughly 62% if you round down. For the average return from a stochastic RSI swing to the upside on the weekly within the last, since a year and a half, since December 22. So again, just so you know, that's what those things are there for. I'll go ahead and paraphrase that a little bit later. I might even do a short on that just so you guys can kind of see it. But anyways, that's a very positive sign. That's one of the main reasons why Bitcoin's in good shape. Another reason, we've broken this descending trend here ever since April, early April. We've been establishing lower highs and lower lows. We've broken that officially, looking to be in pretty good shape here. In fact, I'm going to tighten this up just a little bit there so we can pay attention to that later. But generally speaking, a descending trend is positive, or breaking one is, rather. Okay, so let's look at the larger time frames. This is that 67,000 range I was talking about before. We can see the point of control right here at this guy. So 1.272 is a logical area of retracement for the price action to pull back if it were to come up that high. I say if because we're not there yet, and truth is we may actually be pulling back right now already. But I don't know if that's exactly the case, because again, this most recent high at about 65,600, that very well could be the new pivot, the new low, to get us to this little higher level. That could also be an Elliott wave type of scenario here, where we're going to draw that out in smaller time frames. Either way, just remember, 67,000 is the key level resistance for the moment. We break that range, 72 to 74K should be the next targets, because we don't have a ton of resistance between now and then. Either way, that's where we're at there on the daily, stochastic, MACD. Everything is truly bullish. There's no real reason to go into detail here as to why, but being over 50 on the RSI is a very, very strong starting point. We haven't had that since early April, ever since we've started our decline on the way down. So, all good stuff. 4-hour time frame. Let's quickly note here the volume. Look at how fat these candles are, okay? And again, if you're curious on how to enable that, you simply go up here to volume candles. It's kind of a newer thing with TradingView. Kind of helps give you perspective, versus like traditional candles. I kind of like it just because it's kind of fat and nice. It makes it a little easier to visualize without the actual volume bars. Having said all that, if we take a look here, traditional RSI, everything's looking very good. But we're over 50 on the RSI, and more specifically over 70 on the RSI. Generally speaking, we spend roughly 1 to 2 trading days above this level. So my speculation here is that we're going to continue to go range bound, potentially go sideways and then back up again for maybe some type of bull flag or bull pennant pattern. but at this point here, the high volume implies we're likely to sustain. Unless we see a lot of selling pressure, there's no real reason to expect the price to pull back. If RSI starts to taper off, price goes sideways, we're more likely for a next leg up with a type of bullish divergence. Okay, so again, those are very, very strong, good things that we want to pay attention to, but there's zero reasons here on the 4-hour and the daily time frame to consider a short position. Again, I would maybe say a short at 67,000 may be appropriate as long as you keep tighter targets in place, just because that's a key level resistance. We should expect some type of, resiliency. Okay. But right now, at this point here on the hourly, there's every reason to consider a long and no reason to consider a short. And when I say consider a long, I'm not saying just go long and hard right now where we're at. I think it's kind of a little late to take a long personally. I do think that if the price were to pull back, my areas of consideration is still this lower level 0.618 fib at about 63,500, or secondary to that, maybe a consideration for 64.4. So me personally, you know how I do it. If you're part of my community, you'll understand this. I would probably have an average entry, my first entry, about 25% position at about 64,400. Secondary position, a little higher, about maybe 50% at 63,500. Then I maybe have a tertiary entry at this 0.5 fib level at about 63K for a nice average fill here in the 63.6 mark for the price to continue higher to 67K. That's ultimately what we're looking for. Last thing we want to talk about here is Elliott wave. If potential, we can kind of see here there's possibility of this playing out. And this is what I talked about earlier. If the price has hit its top, we're more likely to come down to this 0.618 fib level at 63.5 and then continue higher up. Okay. We could just come up to this level here. We could even go further, but generally speaking, that's what we're looking at for a general structure. I'll post this on our playout charts, or our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I put them all in here so you kind of see specifically what that looks like. That's not just on my Twitter. I have a Telegram, and of course my Discord also provides that too. So check that out. Help us grow the community. Again, jump on over to our Discord if you want to learn more, become a better trader, and of course, make sure you trade this coin and many other coins on world's best exchange, BitUnix. Awesome rewards. Use my link to register. Check them out, folks. I think they're really cool. Not only this, but they have no KYC or VPN requirements. They have trailing stop losses, constantly updating, and I can tell you they are a phenomenal exchange. They've taken great care of us. Thank you, BitUnix, and thank you too for being a valued part of my life. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.